Go ahead.
I agree with Ranking Member Schiff that Chairman Nunes at this point should recuse himself from this investigation. All of us.
Now, here's what they want. They got the Attorney General to recuse himself. They want the head of the Intelligence Committee to recuse himself in the House. They want a special prosecutor. They want an independent committee. They want to take a nothing burger and turn it into filet. They want to take nothing and turn it into something. They have nothing. They have nothing on this Russia-Trump connection. Maybe they will someday. Who knows? They have nothing. This other issue has nothing to do with a Russia-Trump connection. It is Trump transition. I have to keep saying it. As victims. So what is the conflict of interest? There is none. This guy is a clown. Go ahead.
Side believe that this should be handled outside of Congress, that an independent commission should undertake this investigation. However, if the Speaker is not going to do that, and it is going to be led in the House by the Intelligence Committee, then somebody else should lead it.
I see. And so what they're basically saying is, no matter what happens, this is tainted, you see. And this is what they want to create the impression. And you see what the media are doing. The media will not discern between the Russia issue and this other issue because they want to compound the confusion as much as they possibly can. Now there's this guy, Eric Swalwell, and he said, and let's hear what he has to say about Nunes. So they're bringing out the Democrat troops off the committee, one after another, basically to repeat what Schiff has said, Schiff being the Democrat, ranking Democrat, the biggest hack of them all on this Intel committee. Go ahead.
Congressman, your job just got a lot easier.
I mean,
you can take up.
Stop. Deliverance, right there on the right. Deliverance with the woodpecker haircut. I don't mean her, I mean him. Go ahead.
Golfing now, because there's sure not going to be an investigation in the House.
Right. It's time for Devin Nunes to leave this investigation, let alone lead it. So he should be gone. And what we saw was going over to the White House, he went to receive information that, you know, Joe, we can receive at the Capitol. We have our own secure facility. If this was done the proper way. Now, let's
stop. The reason, Joe, that he didn't get it at the Capitol was because it wouldn't have been secure. He's already explained this. He saw the information on a secure executive branch computer. They don't have these kind of computers at the Capitol. He's trying to protect his source. He's already said the source is not the president and his immediate staff. So he's trying to protect the source. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Go ahead.
Could have brought it over, shared it with both members, both parties of the committee, but this was done because the White House wanted it to be done, and this is what a cover-up to a crime looks like. We are watching it play out right now.
Stop! A cover-up to a crime? A cover-up to a crime? What crime? A cover-up to a crime? I got to get this guy on radio, this Stillwell. I got to get this guy on radio. They'll never come on my radio show. They're a bunch of weak cowards. Instead, they go on the morning schmo, CNN, the rest of it. That jerk will never come on my program because I drill the hell out of him. What is he even talking about? The cover-up to a crime? What crime? Well, there's more. And they're not just Democrats. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey. Time to come home, Lindsey. Anyway, what a schmo. The fact of the matter is, if they didn't have an open primary system in South Carolina, Lindsey Graham wouldn't be a senator of the United States right now. Let's hear what Lindsey has to say about Nunes. Go ahead.
Here's what I would suggest, that David go to his Democratic colleagues and share the information that he was given by this unknown person so they would all know exactly what he's talking about. And if he's not willing to tell the Democrats and Republicans on the committee who he met with and what he was told, then I think he's lost his ability to lead. And the Democrats on the committee are becoming...
You know what? This guy really is a pathetic joke, this Lindsey Graham. I have played these clips for a reason, so you could see a conga line of left-wing kook hacks who are not interested in getting to the bottom of anything. It's politics first and foremost, party first and foremost. How they conflate the Russia issue with the other matter, and that is the use of intelligence by the Obama administration. And Lindsey Graham says, I think he should just share it with everybody. Share it with the Democrats, release the source. What do you think would happen once he tells Schiff the source? He'd leak it like that. Now, he's obviously promised the source not to reveal his name. And Nunes obviously doesn't trust the Democrats on the committee. So he's a stand-up guy. He's protecting his source. He's obviously made a deal with the source. He's gotten the information. He wants to get to the bottom of it. The Democrats are brought in the sense that they are going to find out what's in the information. So I don't know what Lindsey Graham's problem is. Well, I do, but I can't really voice it. Go ahead.
Prosecutors. One guy last night said on a cable show that there was probable cause to believe the Russians and the Trump campaign collaborated. I've seen nothing like that.
But if you go back to your words that he's already put his credibility in question at the very least, then doesn't he?
See, Lauer. There he is, NBC, the Today Show. You see, he's already put his credibility out there. You see, in other words, Nunes needs to go. He's found out too much, ladies and gentlemen. He's dug too deep. This is an amazing thing to watch the manipulation of the media through the Democrat Party, through their plants in the government. This is an amazing thing. This is the iron triangle that Ronald Reagan used to talk about. They talk about the deep state. It's an iron triangle, and one protects the other. And that's exactly what's going on here. I don't think the Trump people understand what's swirling around them. I think the Republicans are pathetic. They've always been pathetic. They don't have a backbone among them. And so they run. So Nunes is under attack. He's done some unorthodox things because he's had to do some unorthodox things given the nature of this Adam Schiff and the rest of the Democrats on the committee. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's bringing out information. He's not covering up information. He's not colluding with anybody. He's not conspiring with anybody. He's giving information to the media, and there you have the spectacle of the media saying, really, should you be giving us this information? Do you really, or maybe you have a conflict. You know, if the Democrats are saying you have a conflict, the Democrats are saying you can't be trusted anymore. Really? Really? Go ahead.
He have to recuse himself?
I think he has to repair the damage. My belief is that the House is off track and probably can't get back on track. Burr and Warner are doing a great job.
Idiot extraordinaire. Lindsey Graham, you can always count on him to be the idiot extraordinaire. Now, Trey Gowdy, South Carolina congressman, ought to be a senator, ought to replace this knucklehead. Whether it's the White House or the Waffle House, what difference does it make where Nunes got the information from? My point. And he's exactly right. Let's check it out. Fox News, go.
What do you make of the charge or the call to step down to Chairman Nunes by Chuck Schumer?
I just love it when Senator Schumer gives Republicans advice on what we ought to do. Devin is doing exactly what the chairman Hipsey ought to do. When you have a source that has information, you handle that information safely, securely, which is exactly what he did. I wish Senator Schumer and some of the other Democrats would be more interested in the authenticity and the reliability of the underlying data and not the means by which it was acquired. Whether it's the White House or Waffle House, what difference does it make if the information is reliable and authentic? It just so happens Devin had to do it this way. So we're not going to take advice from Senator Schumer on who our chair people ought to be.
All right. So, everybody obviously has been wondering who the source is on this. Who called him? There's a story about how he received a text in his car. He was with other staffers.
Can we stop a second? Everybody's wondering who the source is. I could care less who the source is. If the information is credible, it's not a matter of the source. It's not a matter of the Russians. It's not a matter of Nunes' credibility. It's not a matter of what Goober Lindsey Graham has to say of South Carolina. It's not a matter of what all these knucklehead Democrats have to say. If the information is reliable, and it must be, given the amount of the attacks on this Nunes, then what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Somebody at the highest levels of the Obama administration, listen to me, had that information placed in these reports, had the names of private citizens, including Trump family members, as I understand it from the reports, and transition team members, had their names revealed in these reports, and circulated it throughout the government. This is a big deal. During the course of an incoming presidency, trying to cripple an incoming presidency, whether it succeeds or not isn't even the point. It's the attempt. And I am telling you that this stinks like a dead fish, that there's stuff here, and I've told you this now for a month. When you look at the leaks about the Russia investigation, when you look at how Nunes is being treated now he's the subject of the attacks. Now somehow he is a perpetrator, when all he's doing is trying to gather information information that may reveal that the prior administration conducted itself in unlawful ways or certainly unethical ways, he's under vicious, brutal attack, one news agency after another, one Democrat after another, and the usual phony Republicans who are participating in it too.